listening to KFWB News Talk 980. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your joining us each day, Monday through Friday, from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And it's a different kind of radio. If this is your first time tuning in, it will be a different experience for you because it's the only positive show on radio that's designed to change your mindset and to change your attitude about yourself. You know, a study was done of some top achievers around the world, and the study was conducted to find out what was the common denominator among them that enabled them to reach their goals. Here's what they discovered. 85% of them reached their goals because of their attitude, 15% because of their aptitude. So this program is designed to change your attitude from a negative one to a positive one, because we are inundated with so much negative stuff day in and day out. This is 2 hours that we spend engaging in conversations, listening to stories of how people are making major breakthroughs in their lives and dealing with the day-to-day stuff triumphantly, not going through life as a volunteer victim. So thank you for being with us, and trust me, every day that you listen, you're going to grow. Every day that you listen, the voice of negativity will be turned down, and the voice of positivity in you will be turned up and will become the dominant driving factor in your life. Listen, I've been thinking about something, and last night I was up thinking about today's topic, and I want to put it out to you, and I want to ask you a question. What keeps you up at night? What keeps you up at night? 1 out of 3 Americans do not get a full night's sleep. And that shows up in our low productivity on the job. It shows up in our attitude about ourselves and our lives. It shows up in our relationships. We become cranky. If I don't get enough sleep, my temper is short. You don't feel good during the day. It drains your energy. There are things that's keeping you up at night. What is it? What is it? What are you running your life, or is your mind running you and controlling you and creeping your days or creeping into your night? Well, the reason we want to look at that because we want to know, what are you going to do about it? See, it's one thing just to sit up and lay up and think about it and look at mindless television or just stare at the ceiling, but it's something else to become actively engaged in a productive way of approaching and dealing with whatever is keeping you up at night, because there's a problem, there's a solution somewhere. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to call. I want you to share in the conversation about this, and let's tackle it. Let's deal with it. Number to call is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. One of the things I found that I realized unconsciously that I was doing, whenever it's time for me to take my PSA test, I find myself thinking about it a lot, and I find myself getting tense every time. And if they say, well, we'll get back to you in 2 or 3 days, it seems like 2 and 3 months. So many times I find myself, and I start thinking about this program, what are some of the things that I had to learn how to shut my mind down? Because I said, well, that's just not easy to do. You have concerns if you have grandchildren. I have grandchildren. I have one granddaughter who reminds me so much of myself. And I've been dealing with her, and that's been keeping me up. And then I started thinking about that I was concerned about my own health and being on top of that. And then I just decided all those areas in my life that caused me to lose sleep, that I would become active in dealing with those things to reduce the stress, to reduce the anxiety, to reduce the fear. I have some fear about having an MRI. That's one major thing I had to deal with, and just the thought about that, because I don't like closed-in places. I was keeping me up just thinking about that. I have some dental work I've got to have done in 3 weeks, and I saw a movie years ago. Most people won't remember this movie. It's called Marathon Man. I think it was Dustin Hoffman. And let me tell you, so I didn't go to a dentist for 5 years. You say, why? You got to see the movie to understand. But every time I would hear the words by Laurence Olivier, is it safe? Is it safe? I could hear that drill. Oh, my goodness. That just the thought of going to the dentist, I lose a lot of sleep by that. There's the two things that can make your blood pressure go up: the Internal Revenue Service and a dentist. And so my dinner, she knows, I know she's listening, and I'm coming. I'm going to go, but it has been something as I'm talking to you. I'm wringing my hands right now thinking about it. But I want to know what's keeping you up at night. Let's talk about this. Let's deal with this. Let's look at it, because it's interesting. There's some things that say keeping most Americans up at night. Number one, lack of job security. Will I have a job? Some people, they get knots in their stomach when they open their emails from their job, because they don't know whether or not that might be a notice saying you're being laid off or your division has been eliminated. A lot of people are up at night because they're worried about their relationship, and some people are worried about their health, or they're worried about their kids. A variety of things. Some people, if you look at television, I tell you what, one of the things I tell you what I stopped doing, I do not look at television at night. I just decided I was not going to bed with the problems of the world on my mind. And if you look at television right now, it will traumatize you. Every year there are groups of people who say, well, the world is about to come to an end. And they said 2012 is going to be a really tumultuous year. I remember in the year 2000, with the Y2K, I still have 6 propane gas stoves, and I still have water, and about 14 boxes of some soul food in a can. I was in my basement with a flashlight and 6 propane gas stoves and some batteries, and I bought 3 generators from Sears to light my house when the lights would go out at Y2K. I was feeling like a fool. I was in Washington, D.C. I felt like a fool. They had so traumatized me. I had bought into all the hype about Y2K. I'm not playing this year for 2012. I'm not on board with that one. But there are things that come through the media and various sources and conversations that can keep you up at night. I lost a lot of sleep during that time. And so I want to know, and I want you to call and share in the conversation, and let's deal with it. Let's talk about that. The number to call is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980, and we're going to be talking about some strategies. You'll find out how to shut your mind down. That's right. We don't need to only know what's keeping you up, but we're going to work with how to shut that mind down, how to deal with those things that's been affecting you. You know, Elsie Robinson said, things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. See, we have the power to deal with and affect anything that's really got our mind under siege. And we have to ask ourselves, is your mind running you, or are you running your mind? Are you in charge, or is your mind in charge of you? Are you a human being with a mind, or is the mind got you as a body that it's using? See, sometimes if we don't watch it unconsciously, we allow our minds to use us. I remember years ago, the Temptations had a song called Just My Imagination, Running Away With Me. I remember when I was first diagnosed with prostate cancer, my mind ran away with me. I had already had somebody singing Precious Lord, Take My Hand, a funeral arrangement, everything, and everybody was there. I had in my mind, I want to have a unique funeral where they would have a recording, and I would have my children, have my friends come in at a certain time. Hi, Sean, how are you doing? They would push the button. Hi, hey, Marvin, how you doing, man? I'm glad you were able to make it. Hello, Lucy, how you doing? And I would call each person's name. I have it pre-recorded, and I had my kids, I would have them line people up, and I would call their names as they come in, and then they would have a picture of me, and then after a certain time in a funeral service, I said, you know, all of you have gathered here because you came to honor me and pay respects to me, and you miss me, and I want you to know I miss you too, and because of that, I decided to take you with me, and then have the lights turned off. Boom! And say, gas is now being coming into place. I bet you they would clear out of there. Then I'll say, I was just joking, I was just teasing. Listen, call me. You see, I need some help. What's keeping you up at night? We're going to talk about some of the things that's keeping Americans up. I want to know, you tell me what's keeping you up. The number to call is 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. My name is Les Brown. This is Mamie Brown's Baby Boy.